What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Moretako Encounter. You guys may have been with us in a previous pod, and we were talking about aliens. It started on a horror streak, and then we got all the way down into aliens and their existence and whatever. Anyway, in our group text thread, I got cajoled.
That's a word?
Yeah.
Damn it, I know.
It's kind of like, but more than I got cajoled, I got manipulated into watching this dang movie because the other three guys were having a conversation, and we rolled
Two
right
and a
into.
half. I wasn't really involved.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Semantics.
You were racist.
Semantics.
Oh, semantics, sorry.
Anyway, we checked out this movie recommended to us by Jean Valjean.
Dude,
Our
don't
producer.
say it in my back swig.
Called Fire in the Sky. What did you guys think of this movie? If you've never seen this movie, guys, it's an early 90s alien abduction movie.
It's a rough watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But go ahead, Joe.
No, I mean, besides it being phenomenal, yeah, I mean, it's a 90s movie. You're going to get your 90s normal thing, but just a quick like Cliff Notes version of it. It's based on a true story where a group of lumberjack loggers, what'd you call them, loggers?
Yeah.
Loggers, they were working in I think it's like, where we decided it was like between like Arizona and Utah.
It's the Arizona White Mountains.
Thank you. The Arizona White Mountains. They're chopping some wood. And they're driving back late at night, a group of five guys, I think, six guys. And dude, just keep blasting with and need some help.
Somebody studied.
Yeah. So they're driving home. They see this big giant light. They think it's a forest fire. They go look, and it's a giant UFO.
It's like a mushroom brain or something.
Yeah, big mushroom stamp. And then they realize. So one of the main I won't say the main character. One of the main characters, Travis. Gets out of the vehicle and he gets abducted by the alien. So he goes missing for 5 days. The other fellows that were there, they go and they report the whole situation. Obviously, everyone thinks that they're full of malarkey. They have to take lie detector tests. They think that they are responsible for Travis's murder, disappearance, what have you. And then Travis pops up 5 days later. He ends up calling.
Naked and afraid.
Yeah, naked. He was definitely naked and afraid.
I had to throw that in there.
Maybe that's where they got it from.
Naked and afraid.
And then they don't really talk too much more after that. They go through in the movie what I'm assuming what Travis described as his experience while being abducted by aliens. But
it was basically shown through a series of like panic attacks, basically.
Yeah,
he was having freakouts and going underneath
flashbacks and all that other stuff. So. I mean, the movie shows like it goes to a point where it shows what he went through, right? His description of it and what the aliens look like and the whole situation. And it just goes back to what we talked about a few episodes ago when we talked through the aliens and what if they exist and whatnot. And I don't know, talking to Jean. This fella Travis was on Rogan's podcast and kind of talked through his experience, which now I need to watch because I didn't know that was a thing. So I'm going to watch that as well. But
3 hours of my life I'll not get back.
Yeah. So
the movie or that interview?
Both.
So I think my question is not so much on the movie. I think we all know our stance on aliens based on the last conversation. But do you think that someone has actually been abducted by aliens? Like,
do you want to go?
It really kind of goes back to what we talked about originally last time, was that we think that they were already us, right? The current alien sounds so fucked up, but like the current aliens are an evolution of what we were. So in this movie, they say that they were like abducted. They are abducting other humans to test them and see what they're like.
See, I feel
that
like
that's where it lost me.
And as Eric has once said, it's like a layered question, if you will. One, are aliens even true? Are they even real? Two, what do they look like? Three, I mean, do we have evidence of said aliens? So you put all that in perspective. If I'm abducted, if you will, by something that looks like me, and they use the Men in Black, memory eraser Like, do you truly know? Like, we don't know that kind of technology. So you're going based on somebody's experience, right? If I drink too much alcohol and I give you a story that's way in left field, are you going to believe it?
No.
But if somebody's abducted by aliens and they give you a story and they're completely sober, it's going to kind of be close to that person that's intoxicated. So it's one of those things where, do we even believe that they're real? Do we know what they look like? And do we believe that somebody really had an experience? It's multi-layered. And at what level do you really trust? I almost feel like you have to trust the person that had the encounter.
Yeah.
And that's kind of tough because it's multi-layered, because that goes back into what Eric and I were talking about as far as aliens and were we the aliens? And then when you talk about religious stories and all that, like Egyptians and whatnot, go down the path of all these conspiracy theories. We don't know what's true.
Yeah.
So do we really believe somebody's experience, story? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah, maybe they found mushrooms in those woods.
I guess that's what I'm getting at. Where do you draw the line? Do you believe it? Because
they did find a mushroom. That spaceship
that
looks like a
spaceship
giant
looked like a
mushroom.
mushroom stamp,
It
bro.
looked like an upside down mushroom.
But like,
and that's what I'm saying. At what point do you believe it?
yeah.
And those officers in that movie, when you have five
Even
guys
with a lie detector, they didn't believe it.
and that's what I'm saying. When you have five guys walking into a bar that looked like they just saw a ghost,
An alien.
sure. Yes. And they're all freaked out and they don't want to talk to anybody, and they're like, we're not going to talk to you, BS, whatever. Do you believe somebody in that state of mind? Do you think that somebody just encountered something that was tragic, something that was so out of this world that they didn't? At what point do you draw that line?
I'm going to go down a different kind of rabbit hole. Maybe you guys remember the name of this movie. I don't. But I saw it in the theaters. John, you could always look it up as well. It was a Scarlett Johansson movie. And so Joe is likely to have seen it.
Probably.
And it was about her going through some kind of technological advancement that opened up the abilities of her brain.
Do not look it up because I know the name of it.
Like Lucy or something?
Is that what it is?
Nailed
Lucy? It. Okay. Crushed. Anyway, in that movie, they posit, and this is scientific theorem, that we only use, on a daily basis, 5 to 10% of our brain.
I'm less than that.
On a consistent basis, 20 to 25% of our brain. There's so much just untapped, useful knowledge. Our dreams actually, our dreams.
I couldn't resist.
That was great.
I couldn't. I set that up. I'm sorry.
Just shot to 12%. He's 12%.
Rewind and watch the interaction. I'm sorry.
So, just talking about the amount of your brain that you actually use, like, I'm sure you guys have had I've had intense, vivid dreams about some of the most random things ever.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of all intertwine. And then you think about, like, you talk about all these adrenaline spikes that you could have from real life occurrences, social emotional growth, spikes and whatever. So, like, there are things that your mind can trip you into without even hallucinogenic aspects like mushrooms or something like that.
You're right.
Like, there are things that
real.
we might experience that can be real.
Correct.
And, like, again, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, but similarly, like, people who've experienced near-death experiences who have seen God and all these things, and then they come back, and, like, there's lots of layered things that, kind of what you were saying, Nico, like, if you haven't lived that, you can take the autobiographical accounts and analyze them with the best sense of your intelligence, your spirit, your heart, your mind, kind of pull a grasp of it. I'll tell you who might have been tripping, though. James Garner for being in the movie, Robert Patrick for being in the movie, D.B. Sweeney, like,
The T-1000 is legit.
There were
though.
a ton of famous
there were.
actors in this movie.
There were.
And I didn't believe it.
I know.
The guys were like, hey, Robert Patrick, T-1000 was this movie. I was like, no, he wasn't. He just looks totally different. My mind is blown.
Yeah.
I feel like there was an opportunity missed because they could have brought the Predator in, the Terminator.
It could have gotten real crazy.
They could have brought 3 worlds in. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, like, what do you think though? Like, so we're talking about like you talk about dreams and all these things that could potentially, sway your judgment or whatever. But there was another 5 guys that saw it all happen, and they all passed the lie detector test.
Okay. I'm just
gonna play devil's advocate. I'm not saying I agree with you.
And I'm gonna play devil's advocate to the devil's advocate.
Is that devil's advocate?
So
devil's son?
They watched him
deviled.
They watched him have a physical stimulus reaction. Him get lunged forward and back, get tossed back on the ground, and then they fled. They did not witness his abduction.
Correct.
They
did
did not witness his abduction.
No, you're right.
No.
They left the scene for 5 minutes, whatever, freaking out. One man comes back, and
that's a good point too.
So I'm gonna
it's just Mike.
I'll add to that.
We can go there because there were some things while I was watching this movie that my conspiracy theory hat was firing off. There's a scene with one character in a church specifically asking God for forgiveness for what they had done, and they hadn't done anything except just talk to the cops in the bar. He very well could have been asking for forgiveness for the creation of this hoax.
Maybe
like there were breadcrumbs trickled throughout the movie to keep it gray for conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I saw them. Did you guys see some of that stuff like trickled into the movie?
It's just hard to. I mean, it's hard to not like think all these different things when you watch something like that because
obviously the movie itself is fictitious based on something.
And they have to make some things look realistic for the for
I'm
viewers
sure it's
and
not
for
like,
people to watch the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not specific to the claimed events that went down, but I don't know. I think I talked to you guys about it. I don't know if you were here yet when I was talking about it. I was talking to one of my clients about conspiracies and whatnot. But like as you sit there and you talk through it, sometimes you talk yourself into that conspiracy just based on the I don't want to say facts, but the so-called facts of the story.
Evidence.
Yeah. Of the story, and you're like, damn, like I don't know. Anything is possible, right? And I don't know.
If you look at anything is possible.
Yeah, maybe Travis was taken, and maybe he had a probe shoved up in his eye, and you guys thought I was going to say ass, didn't you? I didn't say ass though. I said eye because he didn't have anything put in his ass that we know of.
See, this is why I'm not allowed to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And second, so if you,
hey, you guys thought ass. I didn't say ass. I said eye. Not you guys. Those guys.
As in I, as in you. Or
Dude,
I as in
no,
I.
as in EYE.
I don't know what anybody thought because you just went there.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
No, he's just.
I lost a train of thought. All I was going to say is that the
away.
depiction of the movie is different from the story itself.
Yes.
The movie was depicted to get viewers to sell tickets.
All right, and this is based on the podcast that you.
So I started. If you show me a movie and they said based on real events or whatnot, I'm gonna Google
you found
the crap out of it.
13 websites within 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I
need to watch. Like I'm going to watch that Rogan podcast though with Travis on there. He's got a sweet stash in that picture you looked up. If he's got a good stash,
I'll challenge him to a stash. I'm going to start.
Yeah,
I'll bring it back.
But if he's got a good stash, it's worth watching from me. So
yeah. I guess all I'm saying there's one minor There's one minor. I'm not going to say description, but little detail that I'll say that was different from what you watched versus what they explained. When he was struck by said
beam,
yeah, UFO.
Are you talking about at the beginning?
Yes. Right when he was like,
if you look at it,
yeah.
he was shot backwards, shoulders first. If you look at the story, they said he was shot feet first.
Well,
like from the ground.
They do show him getting like kind of yo-yoed.
Well, and that's
like
what I'm saying.
Like pulled and then pushed. It's like a weird thing.
And that's what I'm saying.
At least
like
in the depiction.
Yeah. So the way it's described in the story is like feet first. So there's like little details here and there that when you start going down that rabbit hole, you're like, ooh, how does that even happen?
Can you imagine being the director of this movie and be like, all right, what did you say happened?
And
I think we're going shoulders first,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
This is a pivotal change we
Who
need to
directed
make.
that movie?
well,
John, can you look that up?
and that's what I'm
Who
saying. So
directed that movie?
you start getting into physics, you start getting into how things move, you start getting into like all the movement of how our bodies move and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I'm not like quantum physics. I'm not freaking smart enough for that. But I guess what I'm saying is those are motions that you don't normally see. So if you read the story is so out of
What else is he
what was
doing?
that?
You're good. Keep going.
The story is so out of this world. You're like, ooh, how do you describe that?
Yeah.
But the depiction of the movie, you're like, oh, this is just a normal dumb alien kind of movie.
What I
so I
actually
feel
kinda
like there's
like about it is
differences
that
in the
stuff,
two.
though.
What's that?
I kind of like that stuff though. So
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I'd rather see like that weirdness.
So
as opposed to don't try to make it realistic to my brain
yeah,
because that's how I would see it.
Yeah.
As opposed to the events that happen. Because now in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, this is more alien like. This is more movie like. And don't worry about my mantis shrimp.
this is amazing.
I
I
It's
just
called
discovered
mantis.
it.
I know.
Mantis shrimp.
I'm not even sure. I definitely don't like Indian Pale Ale, but that looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a sweet
I like
can.
mantis shrimp.
Yeah.
So, and Joe, I know you're going to take us off here in a second, but one of the things I kind of liked about the movie in terms of physics
Mhm.
was, and I'm going to reference a different sci-fi television show that's available to everyone on Amazon Prime. It's called The Expanse, and it's one of the truly great kind of science fiction modern tellings. It's based on 9 novels. They made 6 seasons off the first 6 books, and then in between books 6 and 7 there's a major time jump and age jump forward, and they just decided, because it was on Sci-Fi Channel and then purchased by Amazon, I believe, and they just decided to end the series there instead of telling that what happens in the future. But one of the great things about the physics of space, and Neil deGrasse Tyson and some other astrophysicists have talked about the accuracy of the expanse, and it's about how in space there are no dimensions, and it's all based on gravitational pull. And like you see, like when we grew up with like Star Wars, and there's like flying forward. There is no forward. Like there is no up, down, left, or right. It's all relational to like where you are. And because the universe has depth, again, that X, Y, Z axis that we've talked about before, we talked about that before too. Like the expanse, the propulsion systems work in 360-degree layers, because if you're propelled one direction, you can only go that direction with the force. How that connects to this movie, Fire in the Sky, was I like when they're doing the depiction of him within the spaceship and how he's being like pulled in all of these different directions, and they defied earthly science.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
wasn't directional.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Like I know I'm always like wearing my nerdy science brain, but I'm like thinking, oh, this like arm and lever, and it like whips him, but it like whips him up and not down. And you know the sequence I'm talking about when he's trying to escape before he gets like
You have
swallowed by a rubber sheet or something.
yeah, that was
you
strange.
have
weird.
You have world powers trying to recreate that right now.
right.
As far as you have world powers wanting to go up and down. Be able to lift off straight up and go at the speed of light. I mean, you hear, what do they call UAPs now?
Yeah, the UAP.
I think they switched it up. And there's sightings of pilots in the Pacific, and they can't explain the physics behind it.
Right.
And that's one thing, as when we watch alien type movies, we expect that. Because we don't
It has to be relational to what we understand.
Yes, and as today's what we know as being real, if you will, we don't have that capability of doing so. So when you have an alien type movie, when you see that, you're like, yeah, totally an alien can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So is it believable? I don't know. If somebody encountered that, can we prove it wrong? No. I mean,
It's hard.
Listen, I hope one day
we'll never have evidence.
Am I the only one that when you guys were watching that part where you're like,
I hated you for making me watch it.
Hey, talk to Jean.
I believe you sent the text out though.
Maybe, but I think when you're watching one part where it's like reliving his experience in the ship of space. Am I the only one's like, dude, this dude's kind of a pussy. I'd figure this shit out real quick. Like,
He was a pussy.
These little ball sacks carry me around and like,
bro, what
They
did
were
he
dragging him by his feet.
yeah, man up, bro.
At the beginning of
they
the
were decently
movie.
sized.
Do a sit up and whoop their ass.
Well, second of all, I can't do too many sit-ups.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I'm
I
not
can
gonna
do one,
judge
though.
him.
Listen.
I'm not going to judge him on that.
He
I can
knocked
get
the
one.
one's helmet off and then just stared at him.
Yeah, dude, listen. I know you kind of freak out, and I guess you wouldn't know if, like, obviously this is a really far-fetched scenario, but if you're in that scenario,
Any more far-fetched than
Bro.
alligators and who's
no,
escaping?
listen, fuck, first off, I'm
Juke the
I'm
shit
confident,
out of
dude,
it.
alligator ain't stand a chance against me. But I'm telling you right now, if I'm abducted by aliens and they're gonna like do some tests on me, that shit ain't gonna fly, bro. Yeah, come at me. I don't lift weights for nothing. I'm prepping for getting abducted by an alien.
On
I guess
next podcast, brainless vapid Joe appears
Sitting here like-
staring at the screen.
It's me for an hour and a half.
One of Joe's eyes is blue for some reason. What has happened?
I do have a question for the two of you. Are you fighting to the death in this scenario?
Oh yeah, dude, the alien's getting fucking wrecked, bro.
I mean,
Telling you.
I mean, we all hope as men that we do the right thing, and the right thing would be fighting till the death.
Dude, I'm punching
Or-
that little
or-
ball
or-
sack alien in the face.
Or do you just curl up in the ball and just hope it ends?
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, but I think I'm fighting to the death.
Yeah, we're going, dude.
I think that I need to know.
Listen, if the aliens are 5 feet tall and they're as frail as they say,
First of all, I'm like 5'2".
Yeah, I know.
So stop it.
As
They
say,
Yeah,
like,
as whoever they are.
Who's they,
this is
dude?
all
Hey,
so ridiculous.
whoever they,
Gosh.
So they are 5
Listen,
feet.
I'm going
They.
off the depiction that was in the movie. That alien does not stand a chance against me. I'm 5'11", over 200 pounds.
There were a bunch of little aliens.
I'll take them
first
all,
of all.
dude. It's like
Se-
little kids,
sec-
bro.
second
Bob
of all-
Lazar said they're only 4 feet tall.
That's what I'm saying. They're
sec-
gonna fucking pull me around. On
Second
my
of
feet.
all, in the depiction of this movie, the dude,
They look pretty strong.
Travis was completely disoriented. He did not know where he was, what had happened. They had like brain wiped him.
Yeah, they have an advantage. I'll give them that.
They freaking made his brain scrambled eggs.
But that was
like,
after. That was after he could have fought.
No,
Did you know
when
they're still
he-
married,
when
by the way?
he woke up,
Yeah, I saw that.
You
when
see that?
he woke up in that original pod and he was escaping and he was in like
Gook.
basically cow lard.
Yeah,
He did not
he was in Gook.
He did not know where he was. He
No.
did not know what was going on. He did not know he was in an alien ship. He's discovering it as he didn't know he was abducted.
No, I that's fine. I'm with Travis on this. But the second that nutsack,
You act like you know Travis.
listen, Travis and I are on a first name. If those aliens, you can't tell me that you're gonna let that alien just drag you through.
You
their
realize
shit.
gravity didn't work.
I don't care.
You don't need gravity
No.
or any aspect
No.
of reality
Now
to
my
beat these
adrenaline's
aliens.
going, and I'm ready to beat up the dude. I will.
It's so
Listen,
ridiculous.
You fucking find an alien, and we're fighting.
What
that
if-
was
what if-
probably the second worst thing you've made me watch of all time.
What if
I didn't make you watch it.
What if the alien's
kind of
only
did.
weakness is like playing the mandolin?
Fuck him up.
You
Dude.
don't know.
So
man.
what's worse? What's worse? What we just watched or The Outsider? Because I feel like they're on the same parallel, dude.
No. What the Outsider's pretty trippy. Think about that. We'll get to that.
I'm going to tell you right now, guys.
Have
I'm
you
going to
watched
tell
that?
you right now.
The Outsider.
No,
Don't.
That's a long. That's
11 hours.
Yeah,
you
it's
won't get
11
back in
hours.
your life.
I'm going to tell you guys right now.
I liked it.
You guys have met my buddy Mike from the Dub,
Yeah.
and
Wisconsin.
JJ Watt.
you don't know bad movies. You don't. Mike has introduced me to some of the greatest movies of all time, and some of the movies that are so lethally bad that you are brought to tears and find yourself laughing because of a non-hallucinogenic experience.
I think that's an episode in itself. What's
Like,
the worst movie that you are afraid, ashamed of?
We're gonna do that. We're gonna.
Yeah,
do that
what are you
future
ashamed
episodes.
of loving?
there are amazing movies he's introduced me to, and not all amazing in the way you think. they're
Yeah. Hell
amazing.
yeah. That's great.
Not all amazing is created the same.
All right. Do we want to get into a new segment
Oh,
here?
son of a bee.
I wouldn't say it's a new segment, but it's an ongoing segment.
I gotta get this out.
Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
God damn it.
AutoFire.
I really. Bring out the airsoft.
The best part. AutoFire.
All right.
I think
So-
they turned into BBs last
Yeah.
week.
So last time we hit
Son
you
of
guys
a
with some
bitch.
would you rather's. These are not would you rather questions. They're just kind of quick off the cuff fire answers that we want to hit you with. But we each have some. We're gonna hit each other with some fire questions. Rotate
Just
it
a
up.
few. You know,
Yeah, just a couple.
just wing
My,
it.
my favorite ones that we have in here, and maybe some deep, maybe some funny. We'll see where it takes us.
Can I add the disclaimer to mine? I feel like you geared
I did
these
not.
directly to me.
I did not. I just took the paper and it ripped and it ended up in the hands that it belonged in.
I don't believe you,
It's true. Ask Sean.
Jean.
All right. I'm going to go first.
You wrote your own questions.
I know. Well, I'm going to answer. I'm going to ask the questions first. Should I go funny? John, I'm going to let John decide. Should I go funny
Just give
or
him a
serious?
no. Tell John to pick a
Oh,
number.
pick
Yeah,
a number.
no-
1 through
7.
1 through 10. 6. Oh, this is good. I'm gonna ask both of you guys. I need from both of you. Hey, quick, Nico, what's one vice you wish you could give up?
One vice? Shoes.
Good
I
answer.
spent a lot of money on those.
Eating.
That's not terrible.
Like, at all?
No, I still want to eat.
Yeah,
Just
but-
not as much.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
That's
good.
fair. That's fair.
All right, someone else is next.
All right. On that note, Nico, tacos or burritos?
I'm a burrito guy. I'm a burrito guy.
Yeah, more filling.
Joseph?
Yeah, I would go burrito, more filling, and I'm a big eater. so-
Samey.
Yeah.
I'd go-
I
I'd
was
go
gonna say
burritos as well.
I need a third
I'd go,
answer. I
I'd
think
go,
we all
I'd
need
go
to answer
burritos
that.
as well. Yeah.
All right. Do you respect Kanye West?
Define respect.
And do you find yourself giving him the benefit of the doubt?
Oh, absolutely not. Do I respect him? The level and depth of his belligerence is at such an extreme. He's kind of genius. Do you know how some people are like so mentally depraved that you're like either they need to be institutionalized or they're a genius playing us all? He might be a genius playing us all.
I'm going to
I
add to
will
that.
say that.
I'm going to add to that, but I would like to hear Joe first.
Yeah, I don't. I think he's a fucking psychopath.
Ouch.
Yeah, again to reference when he was on Rogan's podcast for Rogan, who is very open-minded person, to be like that dude's fucking bananas. Nah, I'm good. Kanye needs to hit a psych ward and kind of just live there. Sorry. Yeah.
So you think he's genuinely psych?
Yeah, he's got some. I think he's a extremely.
Narcissistic?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there, but extremely talented individual. I think he is an entitled individual, which we talked about before. But I think he's got some mental concerns that need to be addressed. But because he is who he is, he's never going to see those. And I do see him as a guy that is that could potentially harm himself. I really do. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But he could definitely use some assistance.
I'm going to go threefold on that. Not twofold, but threefold. I think when he lost his mom, I think he hit some sort of mental breakdown, which that was his biggest supporter. So you lose something like that, I think it creates some sort of reaction. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. I feel like the Kardashians used him. I feel like there's some sense of
Kardashianisms.
yes. I feel like he was
that up.
brought into that family, and I think he's trying to do right for his daughters, and I feel like they're using his mental illness, if there is one, against him to make themselves look better. Also, and lastly, if he were just to articulate his feelings in song, you would understand him more. I feel like that's the only way he feels comfortable expressing himself.
Some right-brained people.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's
I
through
feel like
their
there's an art.
Yeah.
Yes, and I feel like when you
Because
watch,
there's not a logic.
No.
There's not a lot of left
No,
brain
there's
there,
not.
but there's
And-
a ton of right.
and there is one song that kind of hits home to me. Not even hits home, but he articulates himself. It's called Ego Death. If you listen to his one part in that song, he explains politics and his feelings in one verse and clears the entire 2016 election in one verse.
Nice.
And not many people can do that, but if you give him the right to do it in song, you can understand him.
Yeah.
But because he can't speak like this, people think that he's
Without,
psychotic.
wanting to
I think
kill certain
Yes,
Kanye
ethnicities and
Kanye
Yes.
2024.
I think he's an artsy person, just doesn't know how to express himself.
Yeah.
So I will give him the benefit of the doubt, not necessarily respect.
We're good. All right, I got another one for you guys. What movies made you cry?
Oh,
It's got to
man.
be one. I want one.
I've
First
actually
one that comes to your mind.
actually shared this with you. The first movie that made me bawl like a baby, for loving reasons, was Turner and Hooch.
Oh, so good.
Turner and Hooch,
Sad.
dude, crushed.
Yeah.
Cried like a baby as a little kid.
Wakanda Forever.
Really?
Bella and I cried like the first 5 minutes because I mean, you have, I mean, Chadwick Boseman, is that his last
Yes.
name?
Yeah.
You lose him, and nobody knew about his illness. And when you watch that movie for the first time, and Black Panther was one of our favorites, and when we went to go watch it in theater, we couldn't handle the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
That one got us.
I have a controversial take on that I can address.
that
sometime.
one definitely got us, and I would say that one.
Yeah, that's good. Mine's definitely The Notebook. I remember.
I'm not going to say it.
It's really weird.
The end,
Yeah.
where
But
they're
I will
in
give you
bed
that.
dying together, holding each other.
No, not dying. When she realized that the whole movie was, or the whole story, not the whole movie, the whole story that he was telling her was about them.
It was about them.
And
I can give you that.
I specifically remember, I'll give you a quick story and we'll get on to some more questions. I think I left my wife's, at the time, girlfriend's house. She had to go to work. I came home super early in the morning, like maybe 5 in the morning. And I just remember sitting on the couch. It was the middle of summer and it was on and I just started. So I watched the whole damn movie. The end pops up. I'm crying. All of a sudden, my brother-in-law, I hear this like horn, like this beep, beep, beep. His car had like a fault in like one of the
A sensor. There's just
a sensor.
I just wanted to watch you.
Honk, honk, honk.
You were tweaking the
I
nipple
know,
of
yeah,
a car.
you're so
He's like,
bad.
I didn't know cars had
I'm
nipples.
sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize for last week and this week.
Sorry for everyone that has nipples.
That's my bad. No, I didn't see.
Oh, sorry.
Why do you gotta say?
Yeah, Eric said nipple first.
Why do you have to say nipples, bro?
I don't know. I have nipples.
Damn it!
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
no.
But yeah, so like my brother-in-law comes out and says someone's like some shit's going down. I just got done crying. Like I was probably, I don't know, early 20s when that went down. And yeah, that's a movie I cried to. The Notebook.
Sick.
It's pretty sad.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love
Question.
it. All right.
Let's go one more each.
Let's
Can we
do it.
pick whatever one?
Which we had no order.
Okay.
So I'm gonna lead into with this one. I like this question. Sweet or savory? I have always been a savory guy until my honeymoon, and that doesn't mean I'm still a savory guy over sweet. But on my honeymoon,
Keep my comments. I'll go.
when
I
you
don't wanna get in trouble. I'll keep it quiet.
anyways,
Yeah.
I want to engage.
I've been to, if you guys have ever been to an all inclusive, talking about rich snobby people, I'm talking about myself because I've been to an all inclusive.
Been to a Hampshire all inclusive.
Having been to an all inclusive and they just throw dessert at you. I'm not even a dessert person, but I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Whatever.
cool.
I'll take it.
It's here. I like things. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I would give up eating because I eat a lot.
Yeah. Sweet or savory,
Sweet or
Nico?
savory.
I love me some brownies.
They are good.
I mean,
Over wings and nachos
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I'm
Bro.
yeah.
have you seen my stomach? It's freaking brownies all day.
Yeah. I'm a savory guy for sure. I'm not a sweets guy.
Well, and that's where it's tough because I'm not usually like if it's too rich, no.
It's special.
Yeah, I don't like
special
icing,
Yeah,
like all that
if
shit.
somebody-
trying to
I
get
don't
good
like
brown.
icing.
It's
at
too much for
all.
me. Give
Yeah,
me
too much.
some ice cream. If I'm a sweets guy, it's an
I
ice
can't
cream.
do ice cream.
I actually
Yeah.
prefer like fruits or a sorbet. Or
Oh yeah,
Sorbet.
yeah, snobby.
Okay,
you
I
You know what?
think we all
snobby.
agree
You
on
know what
that.
I love at the good old
Snobby
DQ when
bastard.
they hook up some orange Julius. They got really good smoothies.
Hey,
They do.
that's pretty.
They do.
All right.
Your
Who's next?
question.
You're up.
One person you can bring back from the dead.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be famous. Any person.
That's
Whether it's
A thinker.
emotional, like true to you, whatever it is. You want me to start?
Yeah.
My grandma.
I like it.
My grandma, she 3 years ago now, she actually passed away on my father's birthday.
Damn.
We've talked about religion, and my father and I, we've had an up and down. I love my father for who he is, and he's been great in my life. And no disrespect to him, I have a father and I have a dad. I call my dad my stepdad, or I call my stepdad my dad, and my father, my father. I have a relationship with each one of them.
Do it.
We had a falling out, and we had a birthday party for him one year. I was leaving. I went to go give him a hug. Said, I love you. Good luck. He was moving. It was a going away party. Walking out the door. In the middle of December, by the way. It started raining. So I stopped, turned back around, decided to go give him a hug. I love you. Good luck. I felt the second set of arms around me. Nobody hugging me. Found out the next day my grandma passed away.
Damn.
Was that her giving me a hug? I don't know.
Maybe.
I do not know. But I do believe that there is something out there. So if I can just be with my grandma one last time, I would.
I dig it.
That my grandma, her name is Hortensia. If I could have her back for one day, I would.
I like it.
It's powerful.
It's a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
I have one.
You go, because I do not have one.
Yeah, mine's. Damn it. We got to go a little deep, I guess. I'm going to go with my nanny. So my mom's mom. So recently, I'll make this quick. I had I think it's my second cousin, reach out to me on the old FB, the Mark Zuckerberg app. And he divulged all this information about this huge family tree of ours on my mom's side of the family, which was really cool. I'm kind of digging into that. And he started sharing a bunch of different pictures with us. And one of them was specifically my nanny. And she died when I think the year I was born. So obviously I don't remember her. She met me when I was born and things like that. But just from what my siblings tell me and how awesome she was, I'd love to bring her back to get to meet. I'd like to meet her. And yeah, that's kind of who I'd go with. The old nanny. Wow.
I like it.
It's good.
I like it.
You say something stupid, I swear.
No, I have a two.
You better not fucking say
I'm not going to.
some
I'm not going to.
actress.
I'm not going to. I have a two-pronged answer. Originally, my answer was going to be nobody, because
I like that.
I think as part of the greater tapestry of life, everything that who we are, the three of us that are here today, the four of us that are here today, we are who we are because of experiences and traumas and all of these things. And so I'm sure that, and I also fear that there might be an answer in the future. So it's almost like I don't want to use that.
I can respect
in case there's something tragic that happens coming forward. As a man of faith, I feel like I've done everything that I can do to love on people. I'm not a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination, but life is a gift, and I try to treat every day like a gift, and I try to treat the people I love like that too, and hopefully they feel that off me, and I felt that from them. So I originally wasn't going to say anyone, but then I had a thought as you guys were talking about your grandparents, and I'm going to give an answer because I don't want to have a cop out. I don't want to do that to everyone out there. So for those of you who do not know, I am adopted. I was adopted from birth, and I have a mom and a dad. I have the most incredible parents who raised me, and I also have kids who are not mine by DNA, and I don't think DNA is what makes a parent. I think love is what makes a parent, and you can have parental influences around you and all these other kind of things. So I have no regrets, and I have had a blessed life, and everything that has happened to me has happened for a reason, and I'm very thankful for it. But last year in 2023, for the first time, I did a DNA test to find out some information for my son, and I was able to connect with some of my birth family. And I ended up discovering that my birth grandmother and my birth uncle had been looking for me, had been searching for me. And my birth grandmother passed away before they found me. And when I took the test, she popped and my birth uncle popped, and I was able to connect with my birth uncle, and he had told me that my birth grandmother had passed. And so out of the respect for that, she loved me and like she was searching for me, and no disrespect to my birth parents, because I know there are some complications for who can find who and all this kind of layered stuff. And I'm just thankful for everything that's happened. But she was searching for me, and it would be really cool to look her in the face and just be like, thanks for caring.
Yeah.
Thanks for caring. Thanks for loving me enough to try to find me. And I know she was the catalyst for that, and she didn't get to experience that. So that's what I come up with. So we got some grandma.
I would just like to give a shout out to our grandmas that loved us.
Yeah.
You know, that were indifferent and knew that.
Cheers to grandmas.
Cheers to grandmas.
Cheers to grandmas.
You know,
there's not a better way to end an episode than that. Family.
Mm-hmm.
Family is a huge, important thing. You guys are part of our family. We thank you for inviting us into your lives. Thanks for joining us. And we look forward to hanging out with you guys some more next time on the Moretako Encounter.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah.